Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another classic movie review for you guys. Now, I know I said my next review would be for Bloodline, but I decided that I'm watching Bloodline on Saturdays. It's just really hectic with my classic movie reviews right now that I'm trying to balance that and Bloodline, so I'm going to review Bloodline on Saturdays now, and yeah, so look forward to that. But this is going to be for another classic movie review, as I said. Now, this movie I'm going to be reviewing, I honestly didn't know if I was going to watch it, even after, like, you know, when I watched the first one, I wasn't sure if I was going to watch it, but I was told to watch it, and I told myself, okay, I'll watch it next year, and that is the 2006 dramedy sequel to Clerks, Clerks 2. Now, Clerks, I thought, was a great movie. I thought it was it had some really cool ideas, it was very funny. I like the low-budget feel of it. I thought it was a really good movie overall, but I never looked at it and said, I want a sequel to it. I never was like that. However, I did say that I want to see more Kevin Smith's films. So my friend watches this movie last year, and he's like, oh my god, dude, you have to watch Clerks 2. It's so much better than Clerks. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it next year. Didn't think anything of it. Watch Clerks 2. Holy shit, this movie is 10 times better than Clerks. Seriously. This is so much better than Clerks, and I'm going to explain why it's better than Clerks. There's so many things I love more about this than Clerks. Let's get to the plot of Clerks 2, which in itself has a lot more substance than Clerks did. Basically, the plot of Clerks 2, after, Dante and Randall, they're still working at the Quick Stop and video store. However, Dante enters the Quick Stop to realize that it's actually on fire because Randall left the coffee pot on, closing the night before. So basically, they have to now get new jobs, and they decide to begin working at a Mooby's fast food at this fast food place called Mooby's, and basically they work with this guy Elias and their manager Becky, and basically we cut to a year later, and Dante is planning to leave his, this job to basically go into a family life in Florida with his fiancée Emma, and basically plan to finally marry her. And let's just say that there are a lot of twists and turns as things go on, and Randall really doesn't want him to leave and everything. Randall's trying to get him not to leave, and it basically is the next worst day of their life, and that's the plot of Clerks 2. So, that in itself, I think, is really good about the movie, but the thing I like most about this movie, I will get to one of the things I like most about this movie. First of all, everything about this movie seems bigger and better than the first one, but it's not, like, thrown in your face bigger and better, because, yes, this movie has a much higher budget. I'm going to explain why. I was going to do analysis on this, but honestly, I'm going to explain why I think that this is, why this one's in color and the other one's in black and white, because of course the first one's in black and white, this one was in color. The problem was, when Kevin Smith made Clerks, he had a very small budget. He did whatever he could to make that movie. It cost him tons of money, and as a result, he didn't have much of a budget, so he had to make it, like, basically shot on, like, a handheld camera. And there was no background music, there were, like, awkward transitions. It felt like you were watching, like, a home movie. This feels like a traditional movie, and it works so much better, and I'll get to the production. But, first of all, the acting here. The acting is 10 times better than the first one. I thought everyone was great here. But first, let's get to Brian O'Halloran as Dante, and I loved him in this movie as well, just like I loved him in the first one. I thought his character was really good. I thought it was interesting that, like, he's trying to basically, like, abandon his life, and the whole movie, he wants more. He wants more out of the whole, Clerk's life, and I thought that was really interesting about his character. I thought he did the role really good, and he definitely did a great job. However, Jeff Anderson as Randall, oh my god, he stole the show. First of all, he was fucking hilarious throughout the whole movie. One of the funniest jokes in the movie, he is basically talking about Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings and how Star Wars is better and Lord of the Rings sucks. It's one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I absolutely love that scene. He had me dying in that scene. He was awesome there, and I loved it, and it was hilarious, and he did a great job. But towards the end of this movie, he has this really heartbreaking scene, which I'll talk about in the spoilers because it's so heartbreaking. I loved it, and it was so well done. And the chemistry is even better here. I mean, the first movie was basically Dante and Randall fucking around with each other. That was the first movie. This one has a lot more substance to it and focuses a lot more on their friendship. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is Randall making Dante mature? Is Randall the reason why Dante is not as successful as he could? Does Randall ruin everything for Dante? And I really like the way the movie played with that, and I thought their, friendship overall was the key dynamic of the movie and was the thing that made the movie so good. I mean, yeah, I made the first movie so good, but here it works so much better because there's so much more energy. I feel like there was so much more energy in this movie, and they had a lot more of that in there, and I love that. Rosario Dawson is a great addition to the cast as Becky. I really liked her friendship with Dante. There was a great twist with her character that I'm not going to spoil because it honestly is really surprising when you find out. I thought it was going to be a dumb twist, but they handled it really well, and I thought she was really great in the movie. Trevor Furman as Elias stole every scene he was in. He was so funny. He is this awkward, like, college kid that's working at the food place, and the whole time he's, like, really awkward and everything. And I thought he was hilarious in the whole movie. He was great. Jennifer Squalwellback as Emma, I thought she was really great as Dante's fiance. You really thought she really cared for him, and there was nothing really... The problem is that the question is she really for him? Because Dante doesn't have a perfect life, and she's seen as, like, the perfect woman, and I'm going to talk about that. But I really want to talk about, of course, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith as Jay and Silent Bob. Now, I'm not saying I didn't like them in the first one. I really did, but here I thought they were even funnier because what they do with them in this movie is great. Because basically in this movie they get their drugs stolen, so what the fuck are they gonna do? They have to basically do whatever they can to, you know, occupy themselves, and they're not high the whole movie, and it's really funny. It's such a different dynamic. Like, there are scenes where they're just, like, blasting this jukebox to just have fun, and there's so many scenes of them where they're just, like, doing whatever they can to occupy themselves, and I thought they did such a great job there, and they really were I thought they had a lot more to do here. They had a lot more, you know, funny stuff to do, and I thought that was handled really, really well. Of course, Jay and Silent Bob are, like, the key characters of Kevin Smith movies, and I thought overall here they were just really, really great, and I loved them, and they worked great together. Hilarious. They had me dying in so many scenes. The directing by Kevin Smith, I really love the way he directs his movies, I have to say. I think, I definitely want to watch some other Kevin Smith movies this year. Definitely, I will probably watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Chasing Amy. I want to watch some of those because I heard those are just as good as these, and I heard they all connect, which I think is really interesting as well, but I thought his directing here was even better here. Honestly, his directing was phenomenal. It really was. I mean, the movie starts off as this fun movie, but it gets really dark. You start to see this really big amount of tension and darkness in the movie, which I really love seeing. I wasn't expecting the movie to get as dark as it did in the second half, and I love that Kevin Smith went that far because it just showed the realistic tone of the movie, which I definitely love, and I think he did a great job with that, and I thought the directing was fantastic here. The writing, too, oh my god, the writing is so good. Not only is it one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life, because it is, every joke worked in this movie. The first movie, there were some jokes that were like, kind of funny, but not exactly working. Every joke in this movie works. Everything is hilarious about this. There was not one joke that wasn't hilarious. One of the funniest scenes, I'm not going to spoil it, but it involves a donkey, and it's supposed to be this, like, stripper girl, but it's not a stripper girl. Basically, Randall fucks up, and I thought that was hilarious. But the best thing, like, about the writing was the darkness of this movie, and the you know, more, like, dark tone, and, you know, really the heart of it, which I didn't expect this movie to have as much heart as it did, and it really had some great heart, and I loved that, and I thought that was really well done. Cinematography here was really good. Also, one of the things I love about Kevin Smith as well, that he really does, he's one of those writers that doesn't give a shit what he does. Like, literally there's a scene where Becky is teaching Dante to dance, and everybody just starts dancing. It's that kind of movie. But it works so well, and it's so Kevin Smith, like, you know Kevin Smith's tone. If you've seen a Kevin Smith movie, you've seen them all. Okay, it's that simple. But that does not mean that his movies aren't amazing, because they are amazing, and this is one of them that's fantastic, and I thought he did a great job with the cinematography, and he definitely had a lot more to work with here. As I said, one of the things I think Kevin Smith really took advantage of was the production value. He went all out with this. Background music, you know, a lot more budget, a bigger ensemble, a lot more to do here, and I love that. I think he really did a very good job of doing that. It's not like, oh my god, guys, I have a big budget, look at me, I'm Kevin Smith. No, it's not like that. He just did what he could to make the movie as good as it was. That's what he wanted to do, because he wanted to make the movie just as good as the first one, and what he did was make it 10 times better because it had more of a story, it kept you more invested, it had more in it, and I think that just worked really, really well. And looking back on the first Clerks, it was a good movie, but it just has this really low-budget style to it that certain people are not going to like it. This, however, I think everyone's going to love. Honestly, if you don't like Clerks, I think you're honestly going to love Clerks 2. If you were like, Clerks was okay, I guess, you're going to love Clerks 2 because Clerks 2 has so much more to work with, and it's so much more substance scenes, and I loved about Clerks 2. It worked so well, and that was fantastic about it. The score here was great as well. I thought that was really great, and the ending was great as well. The movie just flies by so quickly. I was surprised by how short this movie flew by. Like, I'm like, wow, it's already over. I was so into it, and it's by far the best of classic movies I've seen so far. But now I'm going to get to spoilers for Clerks 2, which I'm going to ruin the best part of the movie. If you guys have not seen Clerks 2, watch it right now. It's on Amazon Instant Video. If you have Prime, you can watch it for free. Watch it there, or get the Blu-ray. It's awesome, and there's going to be a Clerks 3, so look forward to that. Honestly, I want a Clerks 3. After the way this movie ends, I want a Clerks 3. I think it'd be awesome to see what else they can do. So, let's get into the spoilers. Okay, so when Becky revealed she was pregnant to Dante, I'm like, that's kind of cliche. I don't really know if I like this twist, but the way they handled it I thought was really good. And here's what I kind of thought of, and I'm going to do a bit of an analysis here, because I kind of thought of something with Becky's character. For me, Dante, I feel like he can't have a perfect life. Like, think of it. Emma's the perfect girlfriend. They're engaged. They're getting married. Like, it's just too perfect for him. He cannot have a perfect life. And Becky, she didn't have a perfect life either. So that's why those two are together. Emma was simply too perfect for Dante. And I was trying to think, what is so bad about Emma? Why do they not want me to like Emma? And then when we saw Becky, I'm like, that's why, because Becky and Dante work so much better together, and Emma and Dante don't have as much in common. Yes, she truly does love him, but Becky and Dante are so much of the same people. You know what I'm trying to say? They're so similar, and Emma and Dante are not. I think that's really what that's trying to show. The best part of this movie, though, the prison scene. Oh my god, that prison confrontation. I fell in love with Dante and Randall's friendship. I really did. When Randall's talking about how that video store was all he had and visiting his friend, and it was the best time of his life, especially when that was supposed to be the worst time of their life. And then he realized, no, that's not the worst time of their life. This is the worst time of their life, because the worst time of their life is being separated from each other. And that's the one thing they don't want to happen. And I love that Randall convinced Dante to open up the store again. I thought that was really awesome to see, and I just thought overall that whole scene was really well done. You know, Dante's talking about how Randall always screws up things for him. It really just brought the relationship full circle, definitely. I love that they did that. It really made me care more about their friendship, and I absolutely love what they did there. I thought that was great, and just made me care so much more for them than I already did. It's not that I didn't care for Dante and Randall, but I did. I cared so much more for them. Then at the end, when they went back to black and white, I was like, okay, I know what this movie's trying to show. It's real simple. The black and whites are the times of their life that they're going to look back on and think of as memories. They're going to think of these as treasures, and basically, you know, when you picture some flashbacks, you picture them as black and white because they're like memories to you, and they're like classic. That's like the classic friendship they have. When they're in, you know, the fast food restaurant, there's a lot of things they don't want to remember, and I think that's why there's so much going on in this movie, because they don't want to remember half of the things that go on, because it's not the happy times. The happy times are in black and white, because to them, black and white is a good thing and color is a bad thing, you know? Sort of like how it's sort of like in a black and white world. I kind of feel like that's what it's trying to show, and I think that's really interesting overall, and definitely I really enjoyed about the movie, and honestly, as I said, I want to see Clerks 3. Now, I know you guys think you're crazy right now, but think about it. I mean, when they're happy, they're in the black and white time, and when they're not happy, they're in the color time. Honestly, it really makes sense why we saw that, so I like seeing that. I thought the movie handled that really well, and I definitely enjoyed that. But overall, guys, I love Clerks 2 so much better than the first one. I'm so happy that I watched it. If you guys have not seen Clerks 2, watch it. If you've seen Clerks and you're like, I don't know if I want to see Clerks 2, no, watch it. I'm telling you guys, it's better, okay? I'm telling you guys that. And I didn't think that it would be. I'm like, how can it be better than Clerks? Clerks is a great movie. Yes, Clerks is, low budget and everything, but this does not disrespect that. This just does something different, and it works with production value, and it works really well, and I definitely really love that about it. Also, another thing I do want to say about this movie is I kind of feel like the reason that they didn't fit in with the color society is because it's too modern and mainstream for them. And Dante and Randall are very, like, you know, indie guys. They kind of are out of touch with society, and I think that's really what that's trying to show, is that they belong in a more black and white world because that's more unique. Black and white's more unique, while color is just, we've seen it before. I think that's really what that's trying to show, is that, you know, color for them is just, oh, we've seen this before. But working at that Clerks, you know, working as Clerks, that is where their passion is, and that is where they want to be. So I love that the movie did that, and I thought that was amazing. But that's my review of Clerks 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie if you have seen it. And my next video, I promise you guys, you're going to want to see it. It's going to be a trailer reaction. You know what it's going to be for. It's coming, and you guys are looking forward to it. And, yeah, so my next review will be for a trailer reaction. I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is. Let's just say it leaked online, and now it's officially on YouTube. So I'll review that in my next video, which I can't wait for, and I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.